Hello everyone, welcome back to the forge. Now, our last video we rough forged our Wakizashi out of that rail spring clip. So we're going to jump in and get this cleaned up, get the profile cleaned up, get the bevels roughed in, get everything set up for heat treat so we can move on to the fittings. Alright, let's get after it. Alright, for the most part, we're pretty well centered in the middle of this till we get right down here at the tip. At the tip, we kind of kick over, let's see here for the focus. I don't know if it'll focus or not. Let's get it back in. Alright, we start kicking over right about 2 to 3 inches from the tip here. Yeah, you see where it starts wavering to that side. Still plenty enough to grind it straight. But right here, we begin to get off. So I'm going to heat this section right here back up, and we're going to hammer it over in alignment a little bit more. The spine's in pretty good shape. It's nice and straight, but this edge here is just kicked over where the bevel is. So let's get it tossed in the forge and get that straightened out. Much better. I think that'll work well. Alright, this is where we currently are. I have thermal cycled this 4 times. I made sure everything was good and straight. I have some furnace cement that's good, the 2000 degrees. I'm going to go ahead, I don't know if this steel will take a hamon or not, but we're going to give it a try and see. Why not? I'm going to go ahead and start laying that out on here, let it cure up, and then we'll be ready to heat treat it. So let's get after it. Alright, I got all that furnace cement on there. Looks like we're all set up and ready for heat treat. So let's get it tossed in the forge and let's get this sucker hardened. Alright, our heat treat went great. No cracks or anything that I can see. Blade got nice and hard. So I'm going to take it in there to the grinder. We're going to clean all this up and get ready to move on to working on the Habaki and probably the Tsuba as well. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, I got the blade cleaned up for the most part. I went ahead and etched it to see if I had got a hamon after putting all of that refractory, or that furnace cement on there, and there's not much one. It goes just like this right here. Didn't really get any activity down here, which is fine. So you get sometimes a mystery steel, so not a big deal there. I do know the blade got hard. That's all that matters. Got this piece of 1/8 of an inch copper I'm making the Habaki out of. So let's get it tossed in the forge and get it annealed and start bending it around. Alright, this is where we currently stand with our Habaki. I did get it bent and shaped around the Wakizashi. Still got a lot of cleanup on it. We'll make short work of that with the belt sander. But I did have a separation right here. I soldered this together, and as you can see, clearly there's a separation. So I'm going to have to resolder it again, not a big deal. And then we'll go ahead and get this fixed up and move on to getting the Tsuba done. So the reason I didn't show this in depth is there's a lot of other makers out there that do this a whole lot better than me. And I mean, Walter Sortles is a perfect example. There's several others. Instead of showing you my attempt, which is the first one that I've ever made, it's better to go to watch someone that really knows what they're doing on this part. Like I said, I'm happy with this, but it's the first one I've ever done. So anyway, let's get it fixed up and get it fluxed and get the soldering done, and then we'll move on to the Tsuba. Alright, there we go. Still got a lot of cleanup work left on it, but it fits good. There's no crack anymore. Yeah, I think that'll work out. Alright, time to move on to looking at how we're going to do this Tsuba. Alright, I've got us a piece of scrap mild steel here. Plan on doing a hammer texture on the guard, so I think that it will it'll do well. Originally I looked at this thinner 1/8 of an inch. It's just going to be too thin. Once I hammer the texture in on it and everything, it's going to be way too thin. This here ought to work well. So I'm going to go ahead and scribe the halfway marks, get our holes drilled, get it fit up to the tang, and then we will drill it out, or we'll mill it out and clean it up and get this sucker fit up. We're getting there. A little bit of file work and we should have a good fit up. Alright, now that we got our guard portion here nice and fit up, I went ahead and put the layout fluid on it, and I'm going to take some reference marks here so I can get this guard nice and even when I grind it to shape. Right now I'm thinking I'm going to go with a pretty simple guard just because of the size, but we'll see how that works out when I get going. So let's get this measured out. Alright, overall we're pretty symmetrical all the way around. Just a little bit off here and there with our square, so we can pretty much just go ahead in here and draw our, we can go ahead in here with a template and draw out the shape of our Tsuba without much trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and get one made up and we'll trace it on there and get it ground out. Alright, here's our paper template. All I did was just use this to cut a piece of paper in the same shape, square shape as that. Folded it in half, folded that in half. That gave me 2 reference lines, like that. And I just happened to find a washer laying around that kind of fit the curve that I wanted to go with. And so when I folded it in half, I just took this and made it up at the 2 points and drew the circle, the rounded edge there. It will work perfectly fine for what I'm wanting to do here with this. So let's go ahead and get these lines scribed and then we'll grind it out and we should be in good shape. And I know this won't be perfect, but it'll get me in the ballpark of where I want to be. And as I clean these parts up leading into the final assembly, I'll be able to really refine the shape that I'm after. So let's get this ground to shape. Alright, not too bad. We got our Habaki made, we got our guard made, or our Tsuba as it's known. Pretty pleased with the progress. We're going to stop there though because I'm still waiting for some of our other materials to come in. And with the state of things in the world today, they were delayed or they would have already been here. And so this coming week we should have it all wrapped up and ready to let y'all guys see how it turned out. I appreciate y'all for joining me along on this build. If you would hit that subscribe button, remember to ring the notification bell to be notified of my newest content as it posts. Like I said, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. You have a good one, and bye-bye.